Video, I want to talk about Karl Marx, the philosophy of Karl Marx, and why is it wrong? It's incorrect, 100% incorrect. There's four main reasons, and stick with me to the end for the fourth reason, because it's the most important reason, and it's not discussed often. The first reason is class struggle. Karl Marx based his philosophy on this idea of class struggle, that there are these rich and then there is poor, and, maybe there's something in between. But the reality is, it's not about proletariat and upper class and exploitation. It's that at times in our lives, all of us are rich and all of us are poor, or a lot of us. There's times where I have been eating ramen noodles as a starving student, and other times I'm an entrepreneur out of my garage. And think about your own life. Sometimes you hit it out of the park in a career, and sometimes you don't. And sometimes it's your choice to be these classes. You don't want to just be pursuing money all the time. Maybe you want to balance your life with family, etc., etc. So I reject his idea of class struggle simply based on the evidence that people transverse classes relatively easy in a free society. Second reason is Karl Marx believed value was determined by the amount of labor put into an object. That means a pencil or gasoline, let's say gasoline at the tank, shouldn't be based on supply and demand and world conditions and geopolitical situations and the amount of gas that they can bring to the station or people's demand for it. It should be based on the amount of labor that went into creating that gas end product for you. You can see how ridiculous that idea is. There is no objective value when it comes to economic pricing. Pricing is a mechanism based on supply and demand, and that's what the marginal revolution in economics was about. Now, another reason is, the third reason is economic determinism. Karl Marx was very big on this economic determinism. If A happens, then B must happen. And this type of thinking can often lead to social engineering and totalitarianism, which I reject. I don't believe that human beings should be treated as cattle. I believe in free markets, free movement of labor and capital, and democracy. And you can see this. Think about the countries that have embraced some sort of Marxism behind it, whether it was the Union, the Soviet Union, Cuba, North Korea, or China. I don't think we want to be living in those societies. And the last reason, the most important reason, is Karl Marx believed that religion was opium of the masses. He would replace the liberation of the soul with liberation of economic comfort. I categorically reject this because for morsels and scraps of economic comfort, I am not going to trade my questioning of why we are all here, why we are something and not nothing. Why is there anything at all? The existential meaning of life. What is this life about for a few scraps of material comfort? It doesn't answer the questions. I know it was really big in the turn of the century, the 1800s to the 1900s, Feuerbach, Freud, and Marx, to try to overturn this taboo. But that's not the taboo we have to overturn, at least not today. We have to answer the questions, why we are something and not nothing, why we are here. And material comfort is not going to answer that for you. Look at all the successful people that have hit it out of the park, have all the money in the world, but their life is not filled with meaning. It's not an opium of the masses. It's something of value, perhaps even in our not in our software even, but in a hard wiring of who we are as a human being and how we connect to others. Look at societies that have a little bit embraced Marxism, and the echo is that the people often have this spiritual void about them. And yes, it's getting filled with a little bit of this abstract, some pseudo-psychology or whatever. But you can't convince me that type of living, this humanistic living that doesn't answer the ultimate meaning of reality, is as rich and as liberating as give me that old-fashioned religion. Anyway, those are the 4 reasons why the philosophy of Karl Marx is incorrect. I reject it, and I think you should too. Thank you very much. Have a great day.